Okay, so let's go and I might bring up my, hang on, I might take back this, we'll leave this up for a bit, and if I need to take back the screen, I will, because I have the power to do so. Now, Simon asks here, is it better to have a separate mobile website rather than using something like WP Touch? And that, I believe, for most people is WordPress Touch, which is a plugin that you can get for WordPress sites.
What I've found with the WP Touch or any of these plugins is it doesn't bring any of the call to actions up on top of the screen, or where people need to, because you need people to interact and engage with this site straight away. I mean, the two things that you do on mobile is killing time or saving time. And so what Ed brought out as well when he demonstrated the Wayside in one was that all the call to actions are up the top. The click to call, I want to book a table, I want to click and see the menu, and that. Unless you want to start manipulating the whole site to then replicate what you do see on mobile through these plugins, it's a pointless exercise, in my opinion. So,
yeah, you've got to understand, why are people accessing this stuff on their phone? They're doing it because they want to do something, and the obvious choices for what they want to do, you should have front and center. And unfortunately, these plugins, as good as they are, you know, like I run a WordPress plugin for eddale.co. That's my, you know, content-heavy site. Right, it makes sense to run a plugin like that. It wouldn't make any sense for me to run a local business thing, because I don't want people to call me. I don't want you to talk to me ever. It's horrible. I don't want to talk to people. No, but if you're a business, you want people to call. You want people to find you. I don't want you to find me either. I want you. You know, you want people to find you. You want this to happen. So it's very, very specific things, and that's what I think it makes it so useful. And then, of course, the stats to back it up, I think, are fantastic. So it sort of works. And here's the other thing. For example, you know, there are a lot of sites out there, particularly in the local business world, that are not built on a customer relationship system like WordPress. Right?
yes.
They are built on, you know, normal HTML, Flash, dare I say it. You know, so they're static websites for all intents and purposes. So they don't have the ability to use plugins whatsoever. So this will work on this will work anywhere, right? The code, the detection code, is completely universal code that you drop in at the top of the website. It detects what type, and if it detects a mobile device, it's going to throw you to the mobile, and people are going to have a wonderful mobile experience for a business, because you want people to get in touch if they've got questions, if they want to make a booking, if they want to, you know, any of those action-based activities, because that's what a phone is for. If people are searching on a phone, it's because they want to take action, and you want to make sure that they can do this. Now, there's Brian's asked, can you share an example of your two-pager with clients? Oh, that's a big ask, Brian. Geez. Do you want him to donate a kidney as well? I certainly, look, I think you'd probably be quite happy to help people develop up something along those lines if they become a client.
Yeah, by all means.
And I've got some suggestions there too, in terms of, you know, the types of stuff that I see people create. You know, you can use Pages, or you can use any of these tools. If you want to really juice it up, do things like their Google listings and where they are at, and reviews and stuff like that, so you really get their attention. But that's something that you can do a generic version, maybe.
Yep,
Guy?
I've got a generic version, and also have a one that has their before and after shot on it. So it just it depends on how many you want to go and see in Crunch. I've now got a small team that I'll say, look, I'm going to go and focus on these venues in this particular suburb or town or whatever it is.
Yep.
And so I'll get my team to do a before and after shot. And again, it's just exactly what Ed said. I've got through the challenge and all that sort of stuff. I've got a team of guys sitting inside the Philippines. I've sent them an iPhone. They do the screenshots for me, and they send it all back. So it's they see it on the phone, but then they've got it as hard copy sitting on their desk.
Yeah, no, it's leave behind, as they say in the business.
Yes.
Yeah. And Brian asks, what's that cool technology to show your iPhone, Ed? I've got a few. It's using the
Yeah.
amazing Reflection app. If you Google that Reflection app, it is really revolutionary. It used to cost, and I've got the device here. It used to cost $800 to do something that now costs 15 through AirPlay. It's just magnificent. So there you go. Just a little tip for those staying behind. So we've got that. And Brian also says, we're going to have to start charging Brian for asking questions. If we set up a mobile site with your service, do we continue to pay monthly for it to stay working? He says he's going to buy it anyway, but just wanting to check.
I'm not sure what the question is. So
if you set up a mobile site with the service, do we continue to pay a monthly fee for it to stay working? I think it was a $5 fee from memory.
Yeah, per site it's $5 per fee. The $4.97 will include one site for the first year.
Yeah. And this is and this is an important thing because I'm not worried about you paying Guy, or indeed if you decide to take the wholesale option, having people pay you. Because here's the thing, how quick can you turn off that if a business stops paying you? And then that
straight away.
Exactly, which is a problem for that business. I love utility businesses, and this is the epitome of a utility business. It's something that they just don't want to lose, and you're giving it to them at an extremely reasonable price. You don't want to gouge here. But boy, all of a sudden, you've got 15 businesses paying $50 a month. That's $750 a month. That's that's $75 of costs. That's starting to get interesting.
I do have a couple on $99 a month, but that was taking the PISS, and then I started using
technical term for Australians.
Yeah, and so it's now $49. I do have a couple on even $29, but they're all friends and foes. Not foes, they're all friends. And so look, it's up to you. I mean, obviously we've got a couple of dollars margin in that $5, but we've brought that all the way down because it's just spreading this thing. It's the mass is key for this, and it's just such an easy thing to go in there and grab additional business off these retailers. And the retailers, particularly, I don't know, in this country, they have been getting a bit of a hard time, but this is certainly, a great way of them engaging with their customers because there's such a large outdoor environment, outdoor activity now. I mean, people aren't walking around with a PC, are they? I mean,
No.
The smartphone has become literally their first screen. It's their primary screen now.
Absolutely. And, you just have to go to your local cafe and just have to open your eyes and have I did an article about this the other day about the iPad. It's extraordinary. We could go on and on with groundbreaking stats. Now, Joseph asks a really good question here. Using this process of showing up with basically a completed mobile site, selling it and completing the transaction, how well does this process work for turning a prospective local client over for full services, main website, Google Local, Facebook, etc.?
They normally ask for it. I haven't had to ask for it because it's been in a consulting role. Then they've just gone, well, what about this? And then you'll be given the feeders. So, they need a new website. Well, do you have a Facebook username? Oh, no. Well, you should go and get that.
Yeah.
Do you have a Twitter account? Google Places. Let's go and look that up. When the first thing I did actually with the Wayside was that. I looked at them in Google Places, and it was such an easy sell because the phone number that they had listed on Google Places was disconnected.
Yeah.
So they went bang straight away. That was actually the first one I got at $99 because they were not getting any calls coming in from a mobile device.
Yeah. Yeah. My experience, I can say, teaching my mentoring students, is that this is the once you get your foot in the door, this is the common. It's more common to get those services, the full services, than it is not, because you do it exactly. Did you hear the wording Guy used? It's not like he said, "Hey, and I want you to buy this, and I want you to buy this, and I want you to buy this, and I want you to buy this." It's like, "Oh, look, how's your Google Places listing? Oh, I just know. Oh, hang on, you don't have a Facebook page. Oh." And of course, what's the biggest problem with these businesses? They're too busy. So before you know it, and as we well know, it's much tougher to get in. The best and easiest money you can make is from existing clients, not from new clients. It's expensive to get new clients.
Yes.
So, being able to do that and having a process, hello, pens, please, having a process where you systematically go through this, and this is a perfect thing for a VA team somewhere, is you literally go and check you hand off the business name to your team, and you say, okay, let's go through, let's go through this. And you go through step A, step B, step C, step D, and you get them to produce a report. What's missing? What can we add? Where are they ranked in Google? And all of a sudden, you can just it becomes a check move. It becomes a benefit in the after process, because you can say, oh, look, we noticed that you're not doing. You don't even have to ask them for the business. You're just doing this as a favor, and you're saying, oh, look, we ran this report for you. Here's a 16-page report on the health of your business. We noticed that you have big red arrows pointing to things. You don't even have to ask for the business. It's the ultimate way of doing things. It really, really is. So that's my advice on that. Life-changing stuff as a local search specialist. Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect companion, Brian. I totally agree. To if you've got the sort of local search, it really is a marvelous way of doing that. It really does work very well for that. How do you? Lorenzo asks, how do you select your potential customer? This is a great example of, well, how did you go about, Guy, selecting your customer?
I went about selecting the customers purely on, well, I just figured that people would be wanting to either find their venues for certain functions because of the type. So that's why I focus on cafes, restaurants, and pubs, hotels. People wanted to be ringing up and making bookings. So that's why I knew that there would be a lot of out-of-home activity on these particular retailers, and that happened to be the correct case. So that being said, I think if you started targeting, like the next things that we're targeting at the moment are hairdressers and little GP doctors. Again, people wanting to find them if they've got an appointment with them, to set an appointment, etc. So that's why I literally thought of it in saying, who is out? What's the out-of-home experience? Who's going to be calling up these venues? Who's going to be calling up these retailers? Who's trying to find them? And that's it. So that's why I went for like an entertainment and now a service type based retailers.
Yeah. I think the trick, there's a couple of ways to choose this, but I think the way you're grouping things, Guy, is absolutely the way to go, because once you've got the lingo for one restaurant, then you've got the lingo for others, and you can show, this is what we did for this restaurant, now let's look at what we can do for you. And it's direct correlation, right?
That is so true.
And often you'll find, when you ask yourself, you'll often have, another way to get into this is for the first site that you do it for a mate. You might have a cafe owner as a friend or something like that. Get them set up, right, and show them, how it is. So you get used to the initial process, and use that as a way of getting an example. But most people will find that they have certain ins with certain industries. Take advantage of that. Play to that advantage. It really does make a lot of sense to do it that way.
And you just touched on something really that is, once you've actually got your screen full of these icons sitting on your iPhone, and you're walking in and you're just flicking through your phone with all these venues on your phone, it's almost like there's a bit of fear selling put into place, if I could say that, to go, oh my God, if they're all doing it, I better do it, because they're seeing all their competitors swiping across the screen.
That is a great, that is a cool thing. Like, you just have 4 screens full of business trials and stuff that you have there, and so you can just tap, 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 tap. It's a very, very good idea.
So that has just literally just come about purely by doing a lot of pictures. That was not an intention to go and fill up the screens, but
yeah,
it's now at that point where you can go into a venue and you're sort of swiping, going, I've got yours here, and I'm going literally through half a dozen pages now, and going,
Yeah.
oh, there's yours there.
Yeah.
And that then
Nice.
also adds credibility to obviously what you're doing, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Love that. Now, we've got couple more minutes here before we have to end up. So let's see if we can bust some of these questions. Can third-party social offerings like Groupon and Living Social be integrated into these mobile websites?
If they do have a mobile version of it, then you can set up as a separate page and linking off to that. Yes,
Yep.
by all means, you can do that. And that's also what we're trying to place into our own coupons component of it, to have a complete full circle integration and more reporting on that. So the answer is yes. In short, there's a couple of hack ways of doing it.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right. The initial simple way is just to literally link to there, and Groupon and Living Social both have mobile versions. So you would link to the site. So if there's a coupon offer, you could click. If you wanted to add that, you could add that as a site. But there's no API level sort of accessibility. Not for that. I mean, it doesn't work for that. Is this customizable for different types of retail businesses?
Yes, it is.
And you have templates, right?
Yeah. And we can adjust all those templates. Like I said, on the 30th of this month, we're putting in a whole new set of templates. If you become a complete reseller, a white label, you can actually start adding your own icons into it. So we can then take all your customized icons, place them up and make them part of the set as well, place your own templates into that set as well. So, there's all this functionality that at that next level that you're able to do.
Yeah. And now, do you provide the web analytics?
The web analytics?
Well,
no.
I think no, but you have that whole analytics tab. So
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
all the analytics are generated through the mobile. Absolutely.
Yes, correct. And in that, you're able to then digest all those click-to calls. So we actually now group them into the top 10 call to actions. So whatever the top 10 people are physically clicking on, then you'll see a report on that. So it could be the QR code, it could be the maps, call me back, whatever the features or sets that you have on that site. We take the top 10 interactions on that and now give you a report on it.
Okay. And another question here, what's the difference to potential clients between the white label and the wholesale?
It's up to you if you wanted to have a complete agency front out there and you want to drive people back to your website. You think you can obviously start selling this from the website, and you don't want to send us those clients. It's brand protection for you. So if you're a big player and you've got some guys on the ground, they're running around, and you've got your own brand, and you want to have your clients adjusting their sites, because that's a basic little mobile content management system. So you don't have to continually edit. You can give them a username and password to go and log in and let them adjust it, let them go and see their own stats. It's giving your customers access to their site, whereas just a wholesaler doesn't allow you to do that.
Totally. And now, so that answered that. And a guy, are you available for follow-on questions by the phone?
If by all means, if they get the product.
Yep. Send an email and
send an email. Yes, we'll have a call. Absolutely, no problem.
Great. Now, and there was the white label billing. What did that mean from the wholesale? Does that mean that they use their own billing services, so the money comes to them directly, right?
Yeah, correct. So, I mean, we'll be setting up the billing gateway for them. So we're obviously seeing all the reports and what that sort of stuff is. We'll be just having a direct billing relationship one-on-one. You'll be coming the central point, but you'll be billing your customers directly. They'll be getting a bill from you automatically generated. They'll have a portal that they can go into, submit tickets, all the Q&A sort of stuff. Pretty much exactly what we've got in ours, but it'll be just rebranded. So the billing engine's done, the gateway's done, and you are billing your customers directly.
Very good. And who hosts the mobile sites?
They're in AWS.
Which is code for?
It's code for. It's in the cloud. That's Amazon.
Which cloud? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Amazon.
So it's the same Twitter and
Yeah.
Amazon themselves. So and that's part of what you're paying on a monthly basis is for it to be hosted in in AWS, which also has local serving and all sorts of cool stuff, which
Yes.
which
Correct.
makes
So
it
it's there
useful.
for obviously high performance and demand when there is demand on particular sites.
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost at the end here. Let's have a look. Yeah, and this is as I say, and you're giving it quite a significant discount. Somebody was asking for a bonus code, and I'm saying, come on, this is it's well over half off. Please, let's have a look. There's that, and who does that? Oh, now Simon was asking about the point was less about the plugin and more about the issues of having to maintain two separate sites. And I suppose from my perspective, the issue of maintaining two separate sites, it's that's where you add value. But when you think about it, unless a phone number is changed or they move addresses or there's a new coupon offer or something that they want to do, then it's pretty low maintenance work.
Correct. It's very low maintenance work on that, and it's exactly what Ed said. We do have links that go off to the main page, but what we're trying to do is obviously engage the customers for what they're actually wanting to do. So you're not really managing two sites in that sense.
Simon asks a great question, a follow-up statement, actually. He said he had an argument about a high-profile web developer who thought you should maintain just one site. I love that theory, and in fact, there's been huge. It's almost like when your parents fight. Jacob Nielsen, who was the father of web user interface. I've got his book proudly sitting on my shelf here, which is Designing Web Usability, that I've had since you and I first started doing this stuff. And then I've got, not far from him, Josh Clark, who is with Tapulous, who has the fabulous book on user interface design for mobile, and they were fighting about this one site, two site issue. And I've got to believe I'm in the two site category. If it means it's all, because I don't care, it's one site, two sites, 10 sites. It's about the user. It's about your client. What's easy for them, for the customer. That's what you want to make sure. I want it to be easy for the business, so the business can update stuff easily, and I want it to be simple for, most importantly, their customer, because if they get more customers and their customers are happy, they'll continue paying me, and that's sort of the way we look at it. Does this work? Oh, we should clarify this. Does this work on Android? Let
me just go to the glossary here. Yes, it does. Of course, it does. It works on all. It works on all smartphones. So anything that's considered to be a smartphone, which would range all the way back to the earlier Nokia Symbian-based handsets, the N70s. BlackBerry is considered a smartphone. All Android devices, Windows 7, the old Palm TOs. They're all considered to be a smartphone. Anything that you can do full internet browsing from your mobile device is considered to be a smartphone. That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a good question. What happens if Guy goes all crazy, starts supporting Arsenal, and generally goes bonkers? Is there a way of getting control of the sites if he's no longer able to support them?
I've already am crazy. I don't go for Arsenal. Yes, there's there's more than just me in this business. Sorry, it's not all about me. No, it's there's a big team sitting behind me, and we've got relations with most of our vendors regarding the redirections and all in particular with the hosting. So if I got run over tomorrow, the business will still run regardless of me being here or not.
Yeah, and look, the great thing about and again to emphasize, this is at the end of the day, right? This is HTML code.
Correct.
Okay. Now, so once the code is there, the code is there. So, you want the ability to switch it off, because if the client stopped paying you, you want the ability to be able to turn that off. But
stick advertising
it does mean that if anything ever happened, there would be there would be a relatively easy exporting fix should something happen about it. Steve Cochran, who I think had to leave about 45 minutes ago and has stuck around, has said this has been an awesome seminar, which is great.
Thank you, Steve.
I think I'm almost at the end here. Now, I just deleted the question. Damn it! There was just clarifying on for the the big wholesaler edition of this. Just clarifying, there truly was no limit for those of us with big, hairy goals. It's no limit means no limit.
No, I certainly want to clarify that. And there's a setup, and then there's a minimum monthly fee. But obviously that caters for X amount of sites. And I know it's a couple of hundred sites, and I've just got to speak to my operations manager, Scott. So that's what I mean. Please contact me directly, and I'll put all that information down on there. So there's no.
Yeah, I think if you're interested, exactly. If you're interested in going for the really big wholesale, then I think get in touch with. And again, what's that email address, Guy, for you?
It's Guy GUY at mytinyad.com.
Yeah,
get in touch with me directly. I'll put it all down in black and white for you, so there's no hidden agendas. It was very much a quick thing I put at the end. I haven't expanded it, but
I think it's going to be popular.
If there's that sort of interest, then we can certainly smash that out for you.
Yeah, no, and I must say, when working with Guy, he is a action taker. He's one of the good guys, so he'll definitely look after you. Now let's have a look. Yes, hopefully the recording will be up and will be archived. Are you only targeting businesses with existing websites but no mobile sites, or just all businesses?
All businesses.
You can target all businesses, but I think the number one mistake people make in local consulting is that they try go after everybody and end up going for nobody. You really want to focus. So low-hanging fruit, for example, would be existing businesses that have no mobile sites or websites that suck.
Yep. Even if they do have a mobile site, I've gone across pubs that have a mobile site, and they think it's so cool. It's just got pictures of it, but
no call to action, no stats.
Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing there, and it's and
that the KSN road that I showed. Which had the big picture, which you can't read on them. That is a mobile site, but it's an awful mobile site.
So there's a lot of stuff out there that you can certainly grab, and this is the entree into it.
Yeah, quick question, Guy. Now you showed actually in the presentation that you could add your Google Analytics code in. Does Google Analytics itself track the click to calls, or that's a function of the analytics that you've built into the system?
That's a function of the analytics that we've built into the system here.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people actually ask me that. I mean, there's probably hacks, not hacks.
I
hacks
suspect
around doing it that you can, you got to find that URL.
You might be able to set it up as a Google goal, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say the goal in it, but
you might be able to do that. But what you want is something that might be useful for you in your analytics if you're an analytics demon. But if you are anybody else, I think the simple analytics is actually better for the business. They don't have time to go through Google Analytics. You want to show them a stat which says, here's how many people called you, here's how many people looked up how to find you. That's that language, and it's very deliberate, Guy choosing the language that way, just to make because that's what gets people interested. Unique visitors, usage, clicks, bounce rates, all that sort of stuff to a local business you may as well be speaking Swahili to somebody in Italy.
Yeah, their core business is doing what they do. I mean, the cafes they're churning out coffees, and so Ed's nailed it 100% with that. So
Jackie asks here. Sorry, I'm just trying to rush through as many questions as I can before we have to close up here in a couple of minutes. Jackie's asking if we use the wholesale option. The big people are interested in the big Kahuna, mate. Oof. If we use, does the client pay you directly? And I assume that's not you directly. The person is the whole. So you can set them up with their own billing. Is
yes, that's correct. They would be. It's their customer base. In that sense, they're doing the billing. They're doing all the training of the locals. People in there. It's their business going into it. So
could you use PayPal and the like for that sort of stuff? Do you?
I would recommend using PayPal at the start, just so it's easy to do. You turn things on and off, refunds, multi-currency, language, the whole shitty match. So, but our billing engine does support a lot of payment gateways. So it's and this is all about. I mean, the spin-off of this is setting up other domains for them as well. So you might want to go for a .mobi, and that's something else that it just comes out of this thing as well. There's so much opportunity here. It's just
it's beautiful. This is why I love it so much, because it's there's no point where you have to be a slimy salesperson. You're just doing them favor after favor after favor after favor. And Joseph actually just asked, good timing, great segue. Just to clarify, when you walk into a potential client, you're able to show them an active live potential version of their mobile site as well as before-after printout. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah,
that is exactly
absolutely
what you do. It's incredibly powerful because, and it takes, if you've got look, you could do it yourself and take half an hour, or if you've got a VA somewhere who, you're paying $300 a month, $350 a month, they can spend all day creating these sites for you. It's easy, simple work.
I'm more than happy to train, like I've trained my guys. I mean, they've got their own accounts. So they go and set up every customer for me.
Now, that's
so the customer can log into it. Off they go.
Another good question here. Is there training on how to set this all up?
Well, it depends on, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course there is. We have to, I'm not going to set and forget. This is, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody who signs up, I'll be in direct contact with them and making sure they understand everything that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you do, right? This is your business, so
absolutely
this is what you do. Now, Simon asks, is the $5 just for updates? Well, no, it's not just for updates, right? The $5 per website. It's also hosting all of the
It's actually the
updates, upkeep, hosting,
redirecting of the site. There's actually over 20,000 different mobile devices in the marketplace, right? So we've got to make sure that it's going to be optimized for each of these different types of handsets. And every time you open up the paper or turn on the TV or whatever, there's a new mobile phone coming out. So we've got to make sure that these sites are going to be staying optimized. So that's what the fee's for. It's for hosting, it's for optimization, redirection, and keeping everything up to date.
Absolutely. Michael asked, do I have to switch off clients if they stop paying, or do you do it automatically?
Depending on what environment you're in, we can do it on a request. You should be able to do it in a wholesale or a white label environment, so it's very easy to do.
Yeah, great. So this is a question, and actually something that I thought of too. When we mock up a site to show a customer, how long can it be up for before you want to start charging a monthly fee? In other words, you guys start charging a monthly fee.
We'll give everybody the 30-day free trial.
And if you didn't say that, I was going to force you to say that, because this is the way to sell this stuff. So guy's not going to bill you if you're not making money from the
That's
client.
right. So you got 30 days to go and show somebody, and then either. And by the way, we'll also then we won't charge you, but we won't delete the site for probably another 30 days after that. We'll put into what we call a grace period. So that person does come on the 31st day. Don't worry, we haven't deleted the site. It'll be in the grace period, and we'll just have to go and dig it out of our archives and make it live again in your system.
Yeah. And Rich says, this has been a great webinar, and he just saved $10 on his car insurance by switching to Geico.
Okay.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure it's a British, almost Scottish accent that the Geico lizard has. So it's
right, yes.
They're being racist in my view. Actually, but I'm kidding, of course. Now, I can foresee different retail businesses wanting customization of features. Is that available for hire from your company? Is that something that you would consider?
Bespoke development? Yeah, we can certainly look at that. Well, depends on obviously the turnaround, that sort of stuff, because we've got our own roadmaps and we're putting in more and more separate features. We do have a complete Yes. Look, the answer is yes. It's just
Yeah.
how long's a piece of string, really? So
Yeah,
that's
that's right. So you'll talk, they can talk to you and
yep,
discuss it and
yep.
come up with an arrangement, I am
If I
sure.
can't do it, then we'll put you
Find
in.
somebody you can.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very good. All right, with that, guy, wow, this has been a very engaged audience on this seminar. So, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, Guy, for showing this.
Thank you very
It's
much, Ed.
been it's been a very exciting thing. If you want to take advantage of any of these offers, go to good old www.mytinyad.com/the-edge. Enjoy, and I hope you're as excited by all of this as I was. So thank you very much, everybody, and we will speak again soon.
Thank you.